Welcome to Catwood's Kitchen. I hope that you're having a great day. Today we'll be making challah, a recipe adapted from Pie in the Sky, a high-altitude cookbook written by Susan Purdy. We begin with 4.5 teaspoons of active dry yeast, which is the equivalent of 2 packets of yeast when you buy it from the store. I've purchased my yeast in bulk, so I'm just measuring it out accordingly. Add 1/4 cup of warm water to your yeast mixture, as well as 1 teaspoon of sugar. Mix that to combine, making sure that your water is not too warm. It should be between 110 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. In the bowl of your standing mixer, whisk together 3 full eggs and 3 egg yolks. Reserve 2 egg whites, which will be used later to glaze the loaves before baking. I do prefer to separate my egg yolks by hand, even though it's a little bit messy, as there's less risk of breaking the yolk into your baking mixture. I added the wrong amount of sugar. Rehome your overactive yeast mixture so it has room to grow. Whisk in 1/2 cup of neutral oil and 1 tablespoon of salt. Add 1/2 cup of sugar and 1 3/4 cup of hot water, about 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Now add your yeast mixture into the bowl of your stand mixer. We proceed by adding 2 cups of bread flour and beating until the dough reaches a stretchy amalgam. You can easily substitute all-purpose flour into this recipe in equal parts. You'll get a slightly denser dough, but it'll be delicious nonetheless. Switch the attachment of your mixer to your dough hook and continue adding flour about 1/4 to 1/2 cup at a time. You'll add up to 6 1/4 to 7 3/4 cup total. Remember, this recipe is for 2 loaves. The amount of flour that you add will vary depending on the humidity of your climate and your individual kitchen, so just adjust the amount of flour as needed to get to the right texture. You'll let your stand mixer knead for about 10 to 15 minutes total. You'll need to finish the kneading of your dough by hand. I split the batch towards the end to knead a little bit more thoroughly. This full batch of dough is definitely a workout when you knead it. This book adapts to 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 feet, and also gives directions for sea level. At 5,000 feet, we'll have 3 rises total. The first rise will be between 40 to 45 minutes. Punch down the dough, and then a second rise of 20 to 25 minutes total. We'll then shape the dough and have a final rise of about 20 minutes. During the first 2 rises, the dough will double in size. In the third rise, we'll only have it increase about 30% in volume. To begin the shaping process, trisect each half of your proofed dough. Using a food scale will help you to achieve the most accurate results. I highly recommend adding a food scale to your kitchen toolkit, not only for baking but also for cooking in general. You'll roll each ball of dough into a rope about 20 inches long. If the dough resists, simply let it rest a tad on your countertop and then go ahead and continue shaping it. Once you have 3 equidistant lengths of dough, you'll begin the braiding process. Lift the left rope over the center, and then the right, repeating to the end of each length of dough and tucking underneath the loaf. Flip your braid and reverse the process, placing the left rope under the center and then the right under the center, and so on and so forth. This is a Dutch braid for those of you who are more knowledgeable in braiding hair. Brush egg wash over each loaf and sprinkle with your topping of choice. We're going with Trader Joe's Everything But the Bagel seasoning and a simpler poppy seed and flaky salt. Bake your loaves at 350 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes, turning your pans halfway through the baking process. Thanks for watching Catwood's Kitchen. I hope you enjoyed this recipe and keep an eye out for my follow-up video on how to freeze hollow French toast and garlic bread. To receive that notification, hit the subscribe button below.